Hey everybody, it's Paul from Two Bears Homestead. Welcome back to our channel today. So what I'm going to do today is a really quick video on something that I worked on in the last week, and that is taking cabbage and turning it into delicious sauerkraut. I'll get a close-up later on in the video of that, but this is last week's batch, my test batch. So I tasted it last night. It's delicious. It is really, really good. It was so easy to do, and it's something that you can keep right in your refrigerator. For those of you that don't know, fermented food has a ton of probiotic in it. It's great for your gut health, and as part of the three focus of our channel and what we're doing is focusing, one of the focuses on our health to get ourselves healthier as we move forward to the progression of owning a homestead wherever we own that homestead. So even though we're, homesteading where we are right now, this is something that anybody can do right on their kitchen counter. So I'll go over that with you. The recipe that I pulled is from Jill Winger, the old-fashioned on purpose. However, it's a very standardized process for making the sauerkraut. So it was pretty easy. I'm not divulging any trade secrets here when I show you this, but I'm going to go through the process, show you what we did. All right, so here we go. So the absolute first thing that we want to do is we want to take the cabbage head, and we just want to save as many of the full outer leaves as possible. I'll show you why when we get to that point, but you don't want this stuff that has the frayed edges in your sauerkraut anyway. So pull these off. I'm going to put them. I'll take them and rinse them off. And so this one here actually probably needs to go too. So, and then on the red is the same exact thing. Just want to get any of those outer leaves that may have dirt or fray, bug bites, any of that fun stuff. Get that off. So what we'll do is we'll save all these, and then we'll take the head and we're going to clean the head up. We'll be right back. And then we just want to take the head and we just want to cut the ends off. Cut the head in half, possibly even into quarters, whatever is easier for you. But the trick is going to be you want to shred it. So you can also use your food processor to shred it, but I'm kind of an old-fashioned guy when it comes to kitchen work. I just kind of like to do things by hand. Many people go on about how it's so much work, and I'm like, it is, but it's also a labor of love. So I'm pretty okay with taking the time to do it. It's kind of like a zen moment for me, to keep working on, things, I guess. So, anywho, so you want to take your cabbage and you want to shred it as evenly as you can. This is where, if you want to use your food processor, you could. Okay, so what we've got going on here is I have taken the cabbage and I've gone and I've just kind of separated it a little bit, just because, making sure they're consistent sized pieces. Any real big pieces like this, I'm just ripping up and shredding. And you want to get as much consistency as you can in the sides, because it'll ferment more evenly, if you will. Okay, so while that's sitting there, what you're going to do is you're also going to make a brine. And you may or may not need the brine, but it's always good to make on hand. I mean, it's just water and salt. So again, it's 4 cups of water to 1 tablespoon of salt. This is going to come flying out. There you go. So just have your brine ready to go and on the side, because if you don't get enough liquid during the process of putting it in the jar or the crock, whatever you're going to use, then you can use the brine to top it off a little bit, because you do need the liquid in there. So the brine is ready to go, and we'll see you in a few minutes. 15 minutes to be exact. Just one thing I forgot to mention. One note about the water is you cannot use tap water. It must be non-chlorinated water. So if you have bottled water around, you could probably get the water from your refrigerator, but absolutely no tap water. The chlorine will kill this process and it won't ferment. As you can see, I'm not sure if it's coming clearly, but you can see that it's like sweating. And this has been about 25 minutes, but I don't know if I can get it on the video, but you can see right there in the bottom, it's macerating, it's already putting out the liquid. That's exactly what you want to see at this stage. You want to see it sweating out, and you want to see the liquid starting. So it's a beautiful thing, it's a beautiful thing. Okay, so we are about to do the kneading or the beating or the punching or whatever you want to call it. So basically, at this point, when it's sweated down enough like this, you're actually going to manhandle it. But before I do that, I want to add the caraway seed. I love caraway seed in my fennel. In my sauerkraut. You could actually add fennel if you want, if you like that flavor. I like my fennel in my Italian foods more than my German foods. So this is going to get the caraway seed. There's no rhyme or reason. You can put as much or as little as you want. I'm probably going to do like a tablespoon is probably more than enough for this batch. And again, you just want that flavor to infuse. So we are going to manhandle this. I'm just going to stir the caraway seeds in so they're distributed. Now we're going to put some gloves on, and we're going to manhandle this thing. So you want to really, after 8 or 10 minutes of abusing the cabbage like that, this is what you want. You want it to look really wilted and sweated down, almost like you cooked it. But the important thing is here is when you push the cabbage out of the way, this is what you want. You want this liquid because that is what is going to keep continuing to come out of the cabbage, and it's going to ferment in the jar. And this is where the money's at, right there. So let's go ahead and get the jar filled up, and we'll show you the next step. So you want to work in little batches. So see, it's dripping. So just put a little bit in at a time. This is where it's going to be. What you want to do here is get a wooden spoon with a flat tip if you can. And what you're going to do is you're literally just going to smash each layer down as you need to. You can get all of this, just pack it in there. You are further abusing your cabbage. Okay, so the jar is completely packed, and that is, both of those heads of cabbage are in here. Absolutely insane when you think about it. It's all right in there. So what you're going to do is you're going to pack it down tightly, and then you need to leave about 2 inches of headspace. That is actually very, very important, critically important actually. You can see that it's starting to yield out the liquid. I don't know if it's but it's starting to. So we're there, but we do need a little bit more brine in here. So what we're going to do is we are going to top off with the brine that we made. Now the brine again is 4 cups of water, 1 tablespoon of your good salt, not table salt, no iodine, remember that. So we're just going to top it off a little bit. It's going to float some stuff up. You want to pack that stuff back down as best you can. But here is where the cabbage leaves are going to come in. These guys here are actually going to help us with this. Because the biggest thing with fermentation is you want the product to stay below the water. Just like apple cider vinegar or anything else ferments, the product must stay below the water or it will rot. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a little cap with the cabbage leaf that we cleaned up. Lay that right across the top, because if that piece gets moldy or if that piece goes bad, we don't care. But it's still going to add to the flavor if it's below the liquid, and it's going to be below the liquid. And turns out I don't need this other one. I'll probably put it in the refrigerator, use it for something else. And then what we want to do is drop a fermenting weight on top. And the fermenting weight, and push that down in there snugly. And push it down hard as you can. Well, not as hard as you can, but you know, firmly. So now you can see everything is under the liquid. And I am just going to go ahead and just put a little more liquid in there. So, and that's how you do it. Get that all right in there. It is completely submerged. It's going to be a beautiful color. Then all we do is put a fermenting lid on it. Now the fermenting lid has a burper on it. So as the pressure builds up, it'll vent. So you don't have to worry about any kind of explosion or anything. Now this will overflow. So when you put this, you don't have to put it tight, just fingertip tight. You put this on a plate, or I would suggest probably a tray, something with a higher lid, because it will in a day or two start oozing some of the gases out, and you will get some of that. So that should stop, within a few days, and then we'll talk about that. So there we have it. Okay, so these are the 2 different ferments. Again, this is the one we did last week, and I'm going to open that right now with you. And this is the one we just finished. That is going to be beautiful. I can't wait to see what this one tastes like. And it'll be a week, maybe 10 days, so we'll just kind of put this over here for now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, we're going to open this up, pull the fermenting weight out, and then let's get a fork here. Here is the piece of cabbage that same thing. So you can see the difference in between them. So that was, last week, this week. So, and then here we are. So, it's hard to tell, but that's what it like. It's a little bit orangey to light in here apparently, but there we go. So that's this one that I'm about to test. Smells amazing. It just smells absolutely amazing. That is so good. Has a nice tangy, sauerkraut flavor. Well, it should have sauerkraut flavor. It's sauerkraut. But it has a nice tangy flavor. Because it's not cooked, it has a nice crunch. This is really, really good. So yeah, I'm glad that I decided to try this. This is going to be really a nice addition to our diet. So I'm going to keep eating it. So if you like what you see in our videos, please, please, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel. Tell a friend about us. One of the biggest things you can do to help us and help us grow so we can get what we're doing and share it with you is you share on your social media. So, hit it on Facebook, Instagram, I don't really know much about Instagram, I'm not going to lie. But go ahead and share it wherever you want to share it. Tell a friend. We would love feedback from you. Again, if you want a tour of our kitchen, you think it's something you want to see, like a quick little tour. I'm very proud of my kitchen in terms of, you know, I designed it the way I wanted it for the time that we're going to be here. This may be the last new kitchen I'll ever have. I don't know. But it's important to me that you give me your feedback, and that's kind of where I'm going with all this. So in terms of the sauerkraut, a quick recap is for a medium-sized head of cabbage or large, you want to do about a tablespoon of pure salt of whatever kind. Again, I use the Redmond's Real. Definitely shred it evenly and consistently. Put it in a bowl, flip it around, put the salt on it, flip that around, and just let it sit for 15-20 minutes, half hour. I started dinner while I was waiting, and then come back and then abuse it. Just like knead it hard, pound it, just bruise it up and just get it to really let go of those liquids. And then all you do is you just packing it in the jar, a little bit at a time, just pack it down tightly and do it in layers. Keep packing, and then you want to leave about 2 inches on the top of the jar, and then you want to have that layer of liquid. So just pack it down, put your leaf on top, put your canning weight. If you don't have a canning weight, you can use little things like I don't have one handy, but you can use a smaller canning jar. Just fill it with water, seal it, put the lid on top, put it inside the bigger jar and push it down. That'll work just as well. Anything you can do to keep the product below the water level, that's the important thing. This will ferment. It'll take 7 to 10 days. When it stops bubbling is usually when it's done fermenting. So, give it a week, taste it, and if you want to get more tang, go ahead and just close it back up, and then it'll still ferment a little bit more. The flavor will still build. Then go ahead and just stick it in the refrigerator. Make sure that your lid is ventable of some kind. There are all sorts of canning lids out there, or I'm sorry, not canning lids, but fermenting lids. There's a million of them out there. Find one that works for you. You can use a canning ring and jar lid, but you got to make them loose. You can't put them on tight. So like I had this one, it's fingertip, tight. So you want to do that with if you use the ring set for a canning jar, just make sure it's finger tight so the gases can escape through the lid. And that's pretty much the long and short of it. So anyway, I thank you very much for taking this journey with me again. Hit that like and subscribe button. Let us know how we're doing, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for being here.